Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are all uniquely beautiful, right? Sure
Yes,
thing.
indeed
And
we are. Yes, indeed.
Miss
That is true.
Okai joining us here today live to talk more about her brand logo that she markets and sells with her t-shirts and so many other things that are in store for her in the future. We are excited to have her here as an empath, and she really has a unique story, and we're going to get to meet her right now. Welcome to the show today. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing quite well, Jill. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. I'm a
Ah,
coin after Mr. Rogers.
perfect. Well, please introduce yourself to our listeners to start.
Okay, so my name is Nanako Okai. I currently live out in San Diego. I'm a business owner, I'm a mother, I'm a
Mm.
grandmother, I'm a
Ah,
friend, I'm an aunt, I'm all of those wonderful things. But most importantly, I am a advocate for the Most High God Yahweh. And really what uniquely beautiful stems from is a message from God. It really is. So I'll expand on that a little bit more
yes.
in a bit, but you go ahead.
Well, no, this is amazing. We're going to get to know you today, your background, how, you got here, who inspired you. And obviously, we're going to talk about your mantra, uniquely beautiful. You said where you could be you and I could be me and we could both be uniquely beautiful. I love that. How can we reach you? Let's just start off with your contact information.
Okay, the best way to reach me is, like I said, to use the email, which is uniquely beautiful, just spelled out as it is, and then my last name, OKAI, all of it run together at gmail.com. I can also be texted by my telephone number, which is 619-889-0484. You can reach me on TikTok as well, which is uniquely beautiful dot three. And those are the best means in which to contact me at this point.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for being here. Now, we would love to get your background. Tell us a little bit about yourself, please. There's a lot to
Oh,
know.
oh yeah, yeah. My origin is deep. It runs very, very deep. So I am a first generation Ghanaian. My father came from Ghana, West Africa when he was 32 years old, met and married my mother. I am the fifth child, but born to the fourth wife. You know, if anybody knows anything about African relationships and history, you know that we have the right to have men have the right to have more than one wife, and so my mom was the fourth wife of my father, and I was born here. The me and the brother that was born to my mom were born and raised here in New York, and we're the only ones that were born in the United States. The other siblings were all born in Ghana.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Amazing. And tell me about your background and growing up. What was that like? And, let's talk about being in, who inspired you to be where you are today.
Well, to tell you the truth, the inspiration comes from all over the place. I can say I was very blessed to be born to a mother and father that were so into understanding of
Mm,
education, number one, family values, number two,
mm,
just being wonderful, inspirational people. On my mother's side of the family, we are kind of known for being the mothers of the neighborhood. That's the best way that I can explain it. We've always, my mother, my grandmother, my great grandmother have always been like the pillars of the neighborhood in reference to looking out for people, looking out for kids, looking out for people who need things. In fact, in my neighborhood, a lot of people that are younger than me, I tell them all to call me Mama O. You know, it makes my life easier. And they're,
yeah.
you know,
Oh my goodness, Mama. Oh, I love it. So now, when were you inspired to start your own business and be, share a little bit about, or do you want to talk a little about what also inspired you to discover, the how do you pronounce the name? Yahweh or
Yahweh,
God,
Yahweh.
Yahweh. Tell me what Yahweh even means. Is that your native language of saying God?
Actually, if you know anything about the Bible itself refers to the Most High God as
Ah,
Yahweh.
wow,
So
see,
it's not a,
I'm a
it's not.
Catholic and I made all my kids are, I'd never heard of that. Thank you for sharing.
It is indeed in the Bible. If you look in Exodus
Okay.
15:1 down there at the bottom, you know how they usually put the little inscriptions down there at the bottom to tell
Yeah.
you what it is. When he says to Moses, when Moses asks, well, who shall I say sent me? And he says, tell him that I
Wow.
am sent you. When you look down at the bottom, it says that
Oh,
I am is Yahweh. So I'm
wow.
not saying anything different than what it is that you got
Mm-hmm.
that you should know, but that's just the actual name for God, So
Wow.
that's where Yahweh comes from. But you said to talk to you about what inspired me. Well,
Yeah.
a couple of months ago, I'd say back in February, uh, God just put it in my heart, a message so deep that I just couldn't evade it, to get out there and speak to people, not just the youth, not just my age, the elderly, because a message of being uniquely beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
it is something that needs to resonate in the hearts of most, because a lot of people these days are running around trying to be something otherwise than themselves.
Yep.
I want to look like this person, or I want to do this like that person, when it's not necessary. We don't have to be like each other. We're supposed to be uniquely beautiful. That's what Yahweh built us and born us to be. And the beauty that I'm speaking of is not the exterior beauty, it's the interior beauty. Because just like let's say, for instance, what's the thing that you like to do the most?
I like, honestly, I like listening to country music. I
Okay.
love taking care of my kids, but that's like my little saving grace and break.
Right, right. So what makes you uniquely beautiful? Maybe the fact that you know so many different, country artists. Somebody next to you might really enjoy being a seamstress. The next person might enjoy cooking. The next person, those are the things that make you uniquely beautiful, not so much what it is you wear or how it is or who it is that you hang out with. That those things aren't important. What's important is your heart and what you have to offer and what you give to this life that make things better for the next person. That to me, and that from Yahweh, is what uniquely beautiful is. And I know the thing about the bullying that goes on in this country is just tremendous. Kids, feeling like, oh, I don't have the sneakers, or I don't have, what everybody else is wearing. And it's like the message has to be got across that I'm not sending you anywhere to be anything other than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You uniquely beautiful, okay? And that's
Aw.
generally what this is all about.
Got it. And we are here to also, remind everyone that, some people out there, are giving a spiritual message, like you mentioned what happened to you, right? And some people also suffer with different mental illnesses that cause people to doubt themselves. And explain this concept to us with how, you're here. And then I want to get into the work you're doing as well. There's still so much more to talk about.
Okay, so the concept, like I said, wanting to be a motivational speaker wasn't something that I had planned. Okay, it really was dropped in my lap by God saying, "Okay, I need you to get out there and talk about this." And somebody asked me the other day, well, do you do counseling for married couples?
Oh,
Absolutely.
see?
Will you come to a school? Yes. Will you come to a corporation? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it has to be heard in reference to everything. Because again, like I said, it doesn't have anything to do with your exterior beauty. It has everything to do with what it is that you have to offer. A corporation can
Yeah.
benefit from it because you have all these
Yeah.
employees and all of these workers that are there trying to figure out, okay, well, do I
So
just sit here
true.
and be a robot
Mm-hmm.
and do what everybody wants me to do?
Yeah.
Or, or do I put in what I know that can benefit the company and make situations better for everybody?
God bless.
And that's truly what it is that should be happening everywhere. Students in reference to, corporations, every place that you go, you should be trying to put your best foot forward in reference to what it is that you have to offer. That's what makes you uniquely beautiful. Okay. And what I'm trying to do is really right now, I want this message to get all across the globe, all across the globe.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, yes, I do have merchandise right now. I've just only been selling t-shirts. And if you go to my TikTok, you'll see that I have different people across the country right now who have purchased the t-shirts
Oh,
and are professing their understanding of, yes, they
yeah.
are uniquely beautiful, you know.
Oh my goodness. I love it because we all are. And I love your enthusiasm for this. So, when did you start, when did you develop your brand and logo? Could you talk a little bit about that, what we can expect?
Yeah, well, it's real simple. Like as you can see, I don't know whether you can see my shirt very well.
Yep, I
Okay.
can. But you got to put it
Okay.
down a little
So
more. I could see the top part of it. There you
okay. So
go.
you have the crown,
Yep.
okay, and then the uniquely beautiful. So everybody's wearing a crown. It's funny. My son said to me the other day, he was like, "Ma, well, what about the men?" And I'm like, "Well, son, y'all are uniquely beautiful too." But then I thought about it. I was like, maybe I might have to come up with something a little different for men. But
They
for
can
right
wear a
now,
crown. It just may not be as sparkly, or maybe they don't want as many diamonds as we do.
they're saying making it like a man type of crown as opposed to like this
Yeah.
thing, But yeah, so um, uh, in actuality, the logo itself is something that I had a number of years back because, like I said, I'm a mom, I'm an auntie, I'm a grandmother,
Oh,
and I
wow.
have two daughters of my own, and then
Uh,
all these nieces and stuff. And so I wanted to inspire them
mm-hmm.
and tell them, because of their uniqueness, because of their differences, that they were uniquely beautiful. So in actuality, I had created a video almost 5 years ago, just showing, different pictures of my daughters, my nieces, and all of that in one long series on YouTube. If you want to look it up, it says Cousins Who Are Uniquely Beautiful or something like that. And I just, put a montage of pictures together of all five of them to show the differences in of who they are and how they manifest and their personalities. And that the logo actually came from that. So when I started to think about this again, when Yahweh brought this message to me to go out and speak about being uniquely beautiful, I said, okay, well, let me just grab the thing that I used before and work with it. And I have a wonderful production company called BK Creative Designs, who does my t-shirts for me out in San Diego, a wonderful lady named Bethany. So anybody want t-shirts, contact her. But yeah, so that's where the design and everything came from. It was something that I had from years ago.
Awesome. So that's the design. So what type of offerings? So you have the t-shirts. What other products are you also selling as well?
You know what? At the present moment, I just started with the t-shirts, but a lot of people have
Okay.
been coming to me and asking me, they're like, can you, expand on a line? Can you make hats? Can you make this? And I'm
You're
going to
like,
look
hey,
into, yeah, by the end of the year, I'll have some other type of merchandise to present because if people are interested in it, I might as well do
yeah,
it. Mhm.
for sure. My goodness. Well, this is great. At this time of the show, we do have to just remind everyone all the ways we can reach out to you, please.
Okay, so again, you can reach me by emailing me at uniquelybeautifulokai@gmail.com. You can touch base with me on TikTok at uniquelybeautiful.3. I can also be reached by text message at 619-889-0484. And again, I'm open to coming and doing seminars at schools. I would love to do seminars at schools, more importantly. And it doesn't matter what age. I do it from kindergarten all the way through college, corporations, church organizations, church events, whatever is needed, I'm willing to come out and do.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And there's still so much more to get to know you. I know it's our first show together. And did you want to talk a little bit about some of your, your background? I know there's a lot that you wrote here in your notes about people's backgrounds, about your mentors. What did you want to share next?
Okay, well, the greatest mentor that I have is, again, the Most High God Yahweh. But the greatest inspiration, physical inspiration in my life, was Miss Maya Angelou, and I know everybody knows who Maya Angelou is. From a very young age, I really, really, really took to her message, the things that she experienced in her life. I actually was blessed to meet her one time in 1989. I actually sat down to dinner with her. And so crazy, when you meet somebody that you have such respect for, such high regard for. I got catatonic, if you can believe it. I couldn't speak.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow.
I couldn't speak at all. And then she sat there, and I guess she just saw the beauty and the admiration that I had for her. And she spent, a good deal of time just talking to me and telling me, look, everything that you want to do in this life is possible. It's not going to be easy, but it's possible. And with somebody with such a beautiful spirit, such as yours, I can see you making changes in this world. So stand tall in reference to everything you do, and just, put your best foot forward. And
Mm-hmm.
before she had even said anything like that to me, like I said, I had the greatest parents
Yep.
on this planet. So, being strong, being diligent, being respectful, telling the truth
Yep.
is something that has been embedded in me from the very beginning. Uh, mm, Also, a fun fact is my name. Okay, like I said in the beginning, I am first generation West African.
Oh.
So
Mm-hmm.
my first name, which is Na Abefio Anako, actually means brave and strong.
Okay.
So I have no other elements to work with in my life but to go by that. And most people that I meet kind of
Mm.
say, yeah, I get that from you. I get
Yeah.
that from you, without no doubts, you know.
Well, there's Dr. Maya Angelou. I know you mentioned you were blessed, right? Not to just meet her, but have dinner with her. And this is just a fascinating story.
Hmm.
Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh. How did that even happen? How did you meet? This is crazy.
Okay, well, my auntie, at the time I was living
Hmm.
in Philadelphia. And my auntie, Nana Kito, she's a very famous seamstress that makes African garb. And I don't know if you know Sonia Sanchez. Sonia Sanchez was a very famous poet
Oh, okay.
and African advocate and civil rights movement
Okay.
leader. And so my auntie used to make her clothing for her.
Oh,
So
wow.
I used to be around her all the time. And then one time, Miss Maya Angelou was coming into Temple University and she was going to do a speech. And
Wow.
Miss Sanchez had come through to get a new outfit and she had mentioned it. And I almost fell out my chair. I was like, did you say you did? And she was like, yeah. She's like, would you like to meet her? And I was like,
Oh my
absolutely.
goodness. Yeah.
So she gave me tickets to come to the seminar that evening at Temple University, and I thought that was going to be it. I mean, I was already on top of the moon after being there and being in that situation.
Yeah.
Then afterwards, she was like, "Well, come on, we're going to go to dinner," and I was like, "We?"
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So yeah, I was 21, 22 years old at the time. Yeah, I'm 22 years old at the time. So I mean, I've been very lucky and blessed throughout my life to be around a lot of great people, both through the connection of my father's family and my mother's family. But again, your environment kind of is what helps you to be who you are.
Yeah.
That being said, I was cultivated. I was cultivated in the best way possible. I've spent in my younger years time around James Brown because my auntie used to, dance for him, and my uncle was the bass player. I spent time around Kool and the Gang. They hung out in my backyard, when I was a kid. My father worked for the United Nations for over 20 years. So, he was very well known in the security industry and worked for Robert Kennedy Jr., Telly Savalas. I mean, all of these people I grew up being around.
Wow.
And that's the other thing about, again, being uniquely beautiful. It's not about, the exterior. I can't say it enough. It's not about the exterior. It's not about how you look. It's not about any of that. It has everything to do with your heart. Everything.
Oh my goodness, it really does. And we are unfortunately out of time. I know it went really quick. We had a late start. How do we reach out to you?
Again, you can reach me by email at uniquelybeautifulokai, and that the last name Okai at gmail.com, or touch base with me on TikTok at uniquelybeautiful.3, or give me a call or text at 619-889-0484.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you here, getting to know you and hearing your story and your background, and looking forward to the next time we connect. Okay. Thank you so much for being here and inspiring so many.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.